Thanks everyone for joining us this afternoon. This is the first of our series of coaching sessions with Petro du Pisani. I will let her introduce herself and she'll do a much better job than I will. But we really appreciate your participation in this session. And I will ask that if you are able to, please do, I think Petro will mention this also, please do put your cameras on so that we can see your faces. She doesn't like to talk to screens. So if you can, please show us your beautiful faces. Let's say hi. And let's make the most of these sessions. And we will hand over to Petra. Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. Before I even start with today's session, I'd like you to just in the chat put your name and where you're from and how many years you've been working in this industry. So start with that. And then while you're typing that, Natalie, I'd like you just to display the first poll for today, which is the question for today is before I even start is how much of your career on a scale from 1 to 10 has been consciously designed by you? So Rensha says sort of 6 out of 10. Okay, so mostly I've been going along and seeing what I can find and stepping up. Whereas some people said 7 out of 10, 7 out of 10. Amazing. So we've got 19 years in the industry, 17 years in the industry. So I've got quite a mix of people with me today. So welcome to today. And today is all about, it's going to be a group coaching session. So it's not mentoring. I'm not going to tell you what you need to do next in your career. We're going to let you discover that for yourself. So just very briefly, let me quickly share my screen with you. I'm trying a lot of things today. Here's a picture of me when I was probably roughly 25 years old. I'm in Zambia and I'm busy doing a geophysical survey. Okay, so I know a little bit about the geology space. And at this point in my career, I think I was just pretty much doing what was expected of a young geoscientist. I'd gotten my group degree and I was out in the field and I'd been told that what I need to do is get my boots on the ground and go and do surveys and learn as much as possible, which I think is probably like a good place to be when you start out your career. Okay. It's probably only roughly somewhere in my 40s when I sort of woke up and went, I'm here now. Okay. I've been going through all of the motions. That's probably not quite my 40s, but probably in around about 35, where I was like, okay, I've done all of the stuff that people said I was supposed to do, went up the ranks, and I sort of woke up. Okay. My good friend Brownie Lieber, who's done one of these sessions before, said a lot of the time you sleep your way to the top. Okay. All of a sudden, you find yourself somewhere and you're like, okay, I'm here now. Is this really what I want from life? Is this really what I want from my career? So I'm not here to tell you what to do with your career. I'm here to help you figure that out for yourself. Okay. So think back to a significant career decision that you made in your life and how much of it was genuinely your own conscious choice. So does anybody want to share where they find themselves right now in that sort of space? You can just come off mute and tell me. Let Tuxulo. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Where do you find yourself right now?
Hi everyone. I hope you can hear me.
Yep.
All right. Wasn't planning on unmuting myself. Currently in the middle of the night. I'm out in Canada at the moment. Um, and funny enough, sorry, I can't get my camera on. I've got kids sleeping somewhere in the background and doing this in the dark a little bit. But yeah, in actual fact, the current career move that I've made, I think, is probably one of the most unconscious one, in fact, that I've made. Um, where I was like, listen, I've done the work, I've done, and yes, before this, I suppose maybe it was a bit more intentional, the planning and that kind of thing. But this current one to say, okay, let's go to Canada has actually been one of those on a whim. Okay, let's see what happens. So yeah, that's where I am right now.
So a bit of a leap of faith.
Sort of, kind of.
Rensha.
Hi
Tell us
everyone.
what. Yes.
Hi everyone. Yes, so I mentioned the 6, but the last year it's actually been an 8. Because I decided to make a conscious decision to take back my life and just reset, and a whole lot of good personal things happened, and I discovered what I really enjoy, what I really want to do. And believe it or not, I've been unemployed a year now, 12 months and 13 months. But I'm back in the game. I'm starting a new position on next Monday, but in a field that I really feel, and in an organization where I feel that I will be able to serve, and yeah, to bring my best to work without feeling that I'm insignificant or not being valued. So I believe that just stepping back, if you can, and taking that moment or time is really valuable. Thank you.
Thanks, Rensha. And I think you're going to do great at your new job. So congratulations.
Thank you
For
so much. I'm smiling.
Fantastic to hear that. Okay, thanks for those voices and thanks for being brave. What I will be doing in the future is I will just call on somebody whose name I can see here to speak to us and contribute. So let me share my screen again. Like I said, I'm sort of going to be going back and forth between my presentation and talking. So let's just see here. So there's this quote by Carl Jung that says, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Which means that if you don't make conscious and deliberate decisions about your career, life will happen to you, as opposed to you making decisions about what you want to do next or how you'd like to be in this world. So in the past, maybe your career might have looked something like this, or you would expect something like this to happen. You'd come out of university, have your first job, get a promotion, get to your dream job, and then eventually go up the ladder and retire. But all of us know that in this day and age, it's much more likely that your career is going to look something like this. Okay? It's going to be all over the show, various decisions that you're going to make. And I guess what's important and what the real question is today is who is in the driver's seat? Okay. Are you just going to go ahead and, like I said, sleep your way to the top? Or are you going to have an input into how your career is designed? And I think that is the important question here. So what I'd like to do right now is to play you just a very short video. Let me just stop this share. And like I said, I'm trying to be very fancy today. So I'm probably tempting tech with all of the things that I'm trying to do. But we will be brave and courageous and try things. So I apologize for the quality of the video. It's not a great quality, but the message is what you should be listening out for. It's just 2 minutes. Oh, I must actually, before I do that, I must also click that I want it to be sound. I was told I must say that. Share. And here we go.
In music, one doesn't make the end of a composition the point of the composition. If that were so, the best conductors would be those who played fastest. And there would be composers who wrote only finales. People go to concert just to hear one crashing chord, because that's the end. But we don't see that as something brought by our education into our everyday conduct. We've got a system of schooling which gives a completely different impression. It's all graded. And what we do is we put the child into the corridor of this grade system with a kind of, come on, kitty, kitty, kitty. And yeah, you go to kindergarten, you know, and that's a great thing because when you finish that, you'll get into first grade. And then, come on, first grade leads to second grade, and so on, and then you get out of grade school, you've got high school, and it's revving up, the thing is coming. Then you're going to go to college, and by Jove, then you get into graduate school, and when you're through with graduate school, you go out to join the world. And then you get into some racket where you're selling insurance. And they've got that quota to make. And you're going to make that. And all the time, this thing is coming. It's coming. It's coming. That great thing, the success you're working for. Then when you wake up one day about 40 years old, you say, my God, I've arrived. I'm there. And you don't feel very different from what you always felt. And there's a slight letdown because you feel there's a hoax. And there was a hoax. A dreadful hoax. They made you miss everything. Because we thought of life by analogy with a journey, with a pilgrimage, which had a serious purpose at the end. And the thing was to get to that end. Success or whatever it is, or maybe heaven after you're dead. But we missed the point the whole way along. It was a musical thing, and you were supposed to sing or to dance while the music was being played.
Any reflections on that video? Anza, what do you think about that video? Does that speak to you? Anza is ignoring me. I'm going to go to Miso.
Hi, everybody. I'm sorry, I have a bit of a flu going on.
Well done for being here. What did you learn from that video? Yeah.
That we are supposed to participate in life, not just let it go by. You know, we should live. Yeah.
Yeah. We should be dancing.
Yes.
Thank you, Miso. Anybody else want to contribute? Njabulo, you've got your face on the screen, so I'm going to start with you.
All right, no problem. I think someone commented in the chat how it doesn't feel like there's dancing in between the beginning and the end, and I definitely relate to that comment.
Yeah, so how do we consciously decide to dance with the music instead of just going with the flow and letting the wave of being in this life just pull us along to the end, which is not the point. Okay. So that's, for me, is what stands out for this video. So what I'd like to do right now, if you're all willing to play with me, is I'm going to take you into the future. We are going to do a short visualization into the future. So I'd like to invite you to do something a little bit different right now. If it does, we're going to do a bit of a visualization. Nolina's familiar with this because I've done a visualization with her before. And I'd like to, if you feel comfortable, close your eyes or simply soften your gaze and look down. So if you're on camera, you can just look on the desk in front of you. And we're going to take a breath, and I'm going to take you into the future. I'd like to travel with you in time, not far, just far enough to see clearly. Just imagine that you've had a full and meaningful career. Your work is done, and today the people who have walked alongside you, who have mattered to you, and to whom you've mattered, have gathered together to celebrate you. It's your retirement party. Find yourself arriving at the celebration. It could be outdoors, it could be a warm, clear morning, the smell of coffee, sunlight on an open lawn, or perhaps somewhere familiar, full of warmth, full of the people you recognize, wherever feels right to you. Notice where you are. Notice the light, the sounds, the feeling in the air. You are completely at ease. Notice there's nowhere you need to be. Nothing left to prove. Just this day and these people. And now, one by one, they begin to make their way to you. Colleagues you worked alongside over the years, people whose careers you've helped to shape, people who were in the field with you, in the difficult conversations, in the quiet moments of real breakthrough. And perhaps you've never met this person before. These are people whose lives or work were touched by what you chose to do and how you chose to do it. And one by one, they begin to speak. What are they thanking you for? Not your job title, not your publications or projects or promotions. The specific difference you made in their lives, in their work, in how they see themselves or see the world. Listen carefully. What words are coming back to you? And now notice, who are you in their stories? Not what you did, but who you were. What qualities do people keep coming back to? What was it about you who showed up? In your work, in your relationships, in the hard moments and the quiet ones that they keep describing. As more people arrive, as more stories are shared, what threads do you notice running through all of them? What is the through line in your career? The thing that connected everything you chose, the common thread that was always there, even when you couldn't quite see it. Take a moment to receive all of this. Let it land. Keep listening to what they're telling you and what they're thanking you for. And gently, when you are ready, begin to make your way back to the screen, back to this room, this moment. And you can open your eyes. Welcome back in the room, everybody. Take a couple of minutes and just jot down, if you've got a notebook, what was the common theme? What were people thanking you for? What were they saying at your retirement party? Just write it down. I'd love to hear from about two of you. What were people thanking you for at your retirement party? Let's ask Lerato.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
Oh, I think they will say she was She was a nice colleague. And they will say she was too quiet. She didn't say much. They will say that if she had spoken more, she she would have gone further with her career.
Okay, so there already sounds like something that we can work on, Lorato.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for being brave and sharing with us.
Thank
Rensha
you.
says, colleagues thank me for being available to assist even when I had no capacity. Anybody else feel comfortable to share what people were saying at your retirement party? Just come off mute and share if you feel comfortable.
Oh,
Please do.
yes. So I think it's more of the understanding of they've made it in life, they've made it to their goals, and they now look back into where they what were the challenges and how did I have the challenges. And one of the things that appears that country is would be that person that will be system making the life in terms of the very different managing.
Yeah. Your connection is a little bit, I can't hear 100%. Can anybody else hear what Renwesi said?
Is it clear? Is it clear now?
Yeah, it's better now.
Better.
Yes.
But I'm just saying, like, they would have been looking back into their pathway towards their career goals, so they would have made it in life, and they would consider who were the people that were assisting in terms of achieving emotional support and yeah, looking back into they would have reached their end goal in terms of career goals, and learning that you were present in their care.
So you were present and there for them and were listening to them. Thank you for sharing. So what we're going to do right now is remember all of the things that people were saying to you in your retirement party. We're going to break you into pairs so that you can speak to each other. I'm going to post the questions to discuss in the chats. Here we are. So here's the two questions. So just share with your partner in the chats. What did you hear people thanking you for? And what does that tell you about what you actually value? And the second question is looking at your career right now, where are you moving towards that vision? And where are you drifting away from that vision? So there are the two questions in the chats. So give your partner about 4 minutes to speak, and you speak for about 4 minutes, and we're going to put you into breakout rooms. Natalie, can we do that now?
Yes. Let's see if we get it right.
Okay, fantastic.
Cool. I have opened the rooms, I think.
I think you have to go and click on it to join it, yeah.
Yeah. There we go. People are disappearing.
Great stuff. You want to speak to me, Natalie? Did you do the
I can
exercise?
speak to you. I did do the exercise. I'm here to participate, of course. Anza just needs to join the room there. do I need to
And
reassign your partner?
yeah. And so just click join the room. I think they have to physically click themselves, right? Yeah, okay.
Anza, can you hear us? I know you were having challenges. Yeah, joining. I don't know how to. Oh, wait, let me move this. I'll move a corner to another room.
Yeah, then they can just be three. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if you can hear us, you can just listen to our conversation. So what were people saying to you, Natalie? Oh, we have to time it, of course. Did we bring them back in 8 minutes? And did you check what time we sent them?
Well, we'll say 12:30. So say it's been a minute.
Okay.
My answer is actually quite similar to what Rensha said in the comments there. Thanking for being able to assist. Like, yeah, I'm generally also pretty much a go-to person when something is needed because I struggle saying no. Again, yeah, she mentioned even when she has no capacity. Yeah, I tend to do that also. But back from my field days, definitely also, I know a lot of people that would come back and say I had their back because, yeah, I'm kind of the protector or like, I want to say the mom on site, if I can put it that way. Running these projects, you're in you're remote and entirely cut off from society, essentially. So you have to have that bit of grounding with you. So that's kind of how I think I am portrayed to people, if I can put it that way.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And if you think so, it almost sounds to me as if your value there is like helping people and assisting others.
Yeah. Again, sometimes to my own detriment, but
yeah, so that's almost like the
yeah.
second question, looking at your career right now, where are you moving towards that vision and where are you drifting away from it? So it's like you're known for somebody that helps other people,
Yeah.
and if you think about it, sort of where would you like to be doing more or less of that in your career?
I mean, I love to keep going in that direction, but I do need to, I need to put up some boundaries for myself, definitely still, because I know I can't be everything to everyone. It's not possible. So yeah, I definitely need some more boundaries there. But I mean, where I currently am, it's already a lot better. My manager, I mean, first time in a while I haven't had a micromanager, so there was a lot of trust put into everyone that everyone was doing what they needed to do. Unfortunately, he has now left, which I'm very upset about. A male manager that was not a micromanager and was really good at admin. So, and he left. Can you imagine?
So you want more of that?
So,
more of that.
No, I
Yeah.
really enjoy. Yeah. The micromanaging for me is not okay. Anza's answering in the
Oh, fantastic,
the
Anza.
chat.
Thank you for thanking me for being supportive to colleagues and assisting even after work hours and always volunteering, also being kind and being peaceful. That is so that's I think sort of I think we've done like 4 minutes. For me, it's like at my retirement party, it's about having lived an unconventional examined life. Okay. People saying, wow, you did things so different to what normal people would have done. And really following my hearts and doing the things that call to me as opposed to just doing what other people expected from me. Okay. I
Yeah.
think that to me is important, is that I found a path that resonated with my values and soul, as opposed to just doing what others think I was supposed to do. And I think I can probably say that's already the case.
Yeah. No, I think it's very cool what you've done with your career and your path. I think it's definitely my feeling, but a lot of people in our particular industry, I feel also a lot of the time you feel like it's happening to you, and it's actually quite difficult to navigate what you would actually like to do because Sometimes you just have to take what you can get, and it's not
This
the
is
way
true. It's a
to,
balance. Yeah.
So you find
It's
yourself in these situations. You can't necessarily be intentional with what you want to do because you're in a bit of limbo, but yeah, it does get better.
yeah. It does get better, and it's sort of like it's also not instant. Okay? It's not
Mm-hmm.
instant. It's not. I think this whole thing about instant gratification. You
Yeah, exactly.
you can have an intent. You won't necessarily be able to do it right now. Okay, it won't happen right now, but
Mhm.
it's something that you can plan for into the future. You can go,
Yeah, for
eventually, I
sure.
would like to be doing this. And then what that means is whenever a choice comes up, you move closer to what you want as opposed to,
Mm.
so it's not an instant thing. So it's about patience as well, but at least knowing what you want helps a lot. Yeah. What does Amza say? To be honest, this one is really challenging because I studied mining and environmental geology, but currently I'm working in the energy sector. I think God's plan for me is to work in the energy sector, but I try to drift towards the mining and geology sector. Well, at least you know what you want, Amza. So
Mm.
when an opportunity comes along in that space, you'll be able to recognize it. Okay, so it's about knowing what you want and what because if you haven't defined it, you won't recognize it when it presents itself.
Mm.
You know.
I think that's what I said to you the other day, Petra. It's a lot easier to know what you don't want to do than sometimes
Yes,
where you want to go.
but
So
that's
yeah.
also useful. That's also
Yeah,
useful. It's also useful. Yeah. Okay, we've got about a minute or so,
a
and then we'll
minute,
let the
yeah.
others come back and let them reflect. I hope they had good conversations in their rooms. I hope they had a nice person to chat to. Sometimes just voicing what you want helps a lot. Just
Yeah,
saying what it is
exactly.
that you want, okay, what you want
Mm.
more of and less of.
Manifesting. There you go.
Yeah.
And sorry, Kate is she's fixing the last poll for us, so hopefully we're
Oh,
fine for the
okay.
last one.
Oh, okay, no, great. Even if I just get people to drop it in the chats, it's actually
Mm.
fine. Yeah.
So we're almost technologically savvy today.
I think we've done pretty well. I've played a video and it worked.
You did.
Um,
Good job. Okay,
it's
cool.
always brave to try and do something like that.
Something new and fancy. Okay, I'm going to close the rooms and bring everyone
Okay, and
back.
bring them in. Yes.
Cool. Oh, there we go. It says all breakout rooms will close in 55 seconds.
Okay.
Okay, so they give you a minute buffer. Now we know.
Now we know that next time we do a poll, the people are coming back. Okay.
There we go.
Did you have a good conversation, Aline?
I think I might have just clicked on the wrong button and left in the middle of a sentence.
Nice. How rude.
I know. My poor guys
No,
are
I think
sitting there going, what happened?
no, they'll all be brought back soon.
Well done on the tech stuff, guys.
Your
Yeah,
hey?
we are getting there with the tech stuff. We are
Professionals now.
experimenting and getting it right. So I'm very proud of
There
us.
we go. New career path, IT. Okay, cool. I think everyone is back.
There we go. Welcome back,
Slide.
everybody. Welcome back in the room. What did you discover about yourself and about how aligned your current career is to where you'd like to end up? Anybody like to share?
If I may go.
You may go.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Usne Temba.
Mhm.
So one interesting thing for me, I think, as I was sharing what I was hearing, it was quite interesting to me Because when you share it with another person, you need to be, it helps you refine what you really believe in, the way you articulate it. I don't know if there's an internal dialogue that is also happening there. And as I'm sharing it with another person, the questions that come back to me, were very helpful in just refining where I am, what I was hearing, and especially like where am I drifting, um, and relative to where I want to be. So that was, yeah, that was really helpful. That having someone else sort of like just help me refine what I believe. Yeah,
Okay. Well done, and well done to your partner for asking you the right questions
sure.
as
Thanks.
well. Anybody else want to share?
Hi, Pedro. For me, I had a session with Rencha, if I can say, and it was very interesting to hear just how similar sometimes our experiences are with our careers. And I think both of us had the experience, for instance, of being told without necessarily being in that retirement space, but just what you meant to people and what people thought about being or experiencing you in their lives. And I think it's a blessing, I suppose, to be told that, listen, you were a good listener, you were present, you were um, intentional about making sure that you don't just go through the motions with people. And sometimes we can find ourselves in that space where we're just going through the motions and you don't even realize that you're making an impact on somebody else's life. So I think even in terms of moving forward, things that I want to drift into in moving forward in my current space where I am is just to keep that intentionality, even whilst I'm also going through the various changes, understanding where I am, noting that yes, whilst I'm going through this, there is an impact that I was making in the previous space that I can bring into this without it being a burdensome thing, because sometimes I think we take on this hero cape mentality, and you want to be a shining star everywhere, and you want to overachieve, and you're just constantly on that wheel where you're just doing stuff all the time. But also just taking the time, because I see that kindness is not necessarily something that's natural for a lot of people, especially where I am. It's a go, go, go. You'll say hello after you've been asked the gazillion, did you do this? Have you submitted this? Is that in place? And then somebody only asks afterwards, so how are you doing? But maybe just starting with that, how are you doing, so that you check in and even ground the conversation, I suppose, if that's a thing. Ground it in, I see you first before I need something from you. So yeah, just
Yeah,
being more intentional about that.
absolutely. And that also, what I love that's shining through from what you're saying is that you can choose how you are going to be at work.
Yeah, 100%.
You can set the tone for how you want to be, which will guide you into the type of career that you want to lead or the type of person you want to be in that career.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Natalie and I had a good conversation around the balance, the balance between sometimes you need to bite the bullet and do what you need to do. Okay. In terms of work that needs to be done, jobs that need to be done. Sometimes you sitting in a career that you're not necessarily 100% happy with, but it's paying the bills. Okay. But then at least knowing what you would like it to be in the future. Okay. So if you can at least define what you want it to look like in the future, you can recognize it when it comes along. Okay. And I think Anza also said something similar in the chat as well around, I'm here at the moment. It's not necessarily where I want to be, but I have an idea of where I want to move to. Okay. And defining that. Does that ring true for most of you, especially if you're in the beginning of your career, you're just basically trying to get the experience, and then you just basically try and do everything, you know. But it's good to know where you want to get to, okay, and what type of work you'd like to do, and what type of person you'd like to be while doing that, to be able to move forward. Okay. So what I'd like to offer is just a simple tool to help you to define where you'd like to move to in your career. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen again. Let me just get this ready for you. And it's just a simple compass. For your career. And it's sort of, if you're thinking about your current career right now, what would you like more of? So what energizes you? And what makes you want to jump out of bed in the morning and are happy to be at work? So what would you like to have more of in your career? What would you like to have less of in your career? So what drains you? What are the things that you really look, if you know that's going to happen that day, you sort of know it's not going to be a great day. Okay. What would you be like to be moving towards? So what is your intentional direction? Whatever it might be. And in geology, there's so many different options, you know. So what would you like to be moving towards? And that might be what you saw at your retirement party. It might be that you saw you're moving towards some specific type of role, or working with specific type of people, or you're feeling a specific way. And then what would you like to be moving away from? You know, so what should you let go of? And what are the types of things that you don't necessarily want in your career anymore? So have a look at that, have a quick think, and maybe jot down a couple of thoughts around what you want more of, what you want less of, what you're moving towards, and what you're moving away from. I will share all of these slides with you at the end as well. Okay. What I'd like you to do now is, in the chats, just write down one thing you'd like more of in your career. And you can't write money. Although that's
That was going to be mine.
That's actually a valid response as well, because it means you're looking for a promotion. So what would you like more of in your career currently? Who doesn't want more money? You're right. Absolutely. What would you like more of? I'm not seeing anything in the thing here. Boundaries and peace. Yes, that's good, Rensha. Growth, stability, people and meaningful conversations. That's a good one, September. Nolene, what do you want more of in your career?
Right this very day, time.
More time, respect and being valued, more daily joy and technical soundness, freedom to express yourself, new ideas are more than welcome. So how does it help you to express what you want more of and what you want less of? Is it giving you some clarity as to where you're currently finding yourself? Njabula, Njabulo.
Sorry, could you please repeat your question again? Because I was typing in the chat, so I didn't really hear you properly. Sorry.
Is it useful to do this exercise? Let me ask that.
Yes, it is. Because, okay, let me just read what I was typing in the chat.
Yeah.
So, I'm currently a postgrad student and I'm finishing off my master's thesis. And I was just saying, I think what I've learned in the past 2 years is how to filter criticism and feedback. I know everyone will not always be nice, but I think I want to improve the way in which I receive feedback. Some people would say, grow a thick skin, don't take things to heart or literally, but sometimes the way feedback is delivered can become a bit tense. So I think for me, that's what I would want to improve. I don't know how I would improve that on my side because it's more of a I'm receiving it than me sending it to someone else. But I think being less emotional about the work that I give out. Yeah.
Okay. Remember, you don't have to believe every piece of feedback somebody gives you, right? You don't have to believe everything, and always take it from who it comes. Okay. Cool. So anybody else want to share? How does it help you to know what you want more of?
So for me, I am still very new to the industry. Having these conversations about, what you really value, what you are truly aligned with, it's making me realize that my career is exactly what you had mentioned in the beginning about not until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. So I think I've done a lot of that in my life. I didn't exactly choose to do a geology degree. I've always believed that it chose me. And I was content because I had never set my mind to anything. I was okay with either doing pharmacy, medical lab science, and geology was the first acceptance that I got. So that's where I went. And first year, people are failing the tests. I do well, and I'm like, okay, I can stay here. I'm pretty fine. Now being in the working world, Natalie, being in the working world and realizing how extreme of a career it can be, how it has a potential to break your health. I'm a juvenile arthritic, and I'm in geotech, so I have to be lifting stuff. So what these conversations about alignment, about values, if I value my health, then it means I should be moving away from something that has a potential to break my health. Experiencing people in the space, people are not always respectful. Not to say that they are that doesn't happen in other careers, but it's also something I've just seen in the space that these conversations aren't had, like the emotional EQ aligned conversations, always more technical, presentations that, oh, this is what happened at the tailings dam, where and the people that are needed for such sessions, they're not there. Like now there's only 12 of us, and there's so many of us in that space. Our bosses, maybe our seniors, they're not here. Our supervisors for the masters, they're not here to see that giving feedback in an extreme, unkind way is not nice. It's affecting the next person. But those people who need to hear these conversations are not showing up to these spaces. So it just shows me that what you want, respect and value, is still far from getting it, because it's a foreign concept in this space. So if you value respect and boundaries, so these conversations help you to say, okay, this is not a space where such conversations and such values are valued. So maybe you need to start thinking about pivoting, going to spaces where you've seen it happen and it's being appreciated. That's my take. I'm sorry
Yeah.
for being long.
No problem at all. So it starts with us, right? There's 12 of us here having this conversation, and we're talking about having a values-aligned career. So that means it's going to change the type of managers we're going to be eventually, because we will be listening, because we're starting to have these conversations. So we can be the seed of that change.
Mm-hmm.
So even if those people aren't in the room right now, we can either influence them and have the conversations with them from us,
Mm-hmm.
or we can grow into the managers and the leaders that do have conversations like these.
Yeah.
So there's always a perspective to bring to it as well.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay, so we're almost at the end. So what I'd like you to just type into the chat for me is, what is one, it's like we always want to move from talk to action, right? So what is one small action that you can take in the next 2 weeks that moves you closer to the type of career that you want?
Retire.
And you're already there, Nadine. So while you're typing one small action that you can take to move closer to the type of career that you want, we can also open the last poll for today, which is on a scale of 1 to 10, how much of your career going forward are you going to consciously design? Okay, I like what I'm seeing in the poll. It almost seems like we have a bit of a higher average than at the beginning of the session. At the beginning of the session, we were saying, we sort of feel that we somewhere between 4 and 7 in terms of consciously designing. And here I've got people, we sort of between 6 and 9. Well, I'm seeing that, I don't know. And there's some people who are even giving us a 10 as well. And we have some nice actions in the chat box around what you're going to do in the next 2 weeks to keep doing these things. Okay, can everybody see the poll, Natalie? I think they can see it, right?
I think
You
so,
can see
yeah.
it.
I've shared the
Okay,
results.
great. Fantastic. I'm so happy that a lot of you are going to consciously think about how to design your career going into the future. And what I'd like to leave you with today is just one thought. Okay, so I was reading a book by Bronnie Ware, which is about the top 5 regrets that people at the end of their life have, because she was a palliative care nurse. And the top 5 regrets were, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself and not the life others expected of me. Number 2, I wish I didn't work so hard. Number 3, I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. Number 4, I wish I had stayed in contact with my friends. And number 5, I'd wish I'd let myself be happier. So I'm hoping that all of you will take that to heart and give yourself not the permission, but live a life that aligns to your values and one that you have no regrets at the end. Thanks everybody for joining us today. It's been a lovely session, and thanks to everybody for contributing. I think we heard everybody's voice in the room today, so that always makes me really happy.
Awesome.
Have a wonderful
Thank you so much.
afternoon.
Thanks, Petra. Don't forget to join us for the next one. It's at the end of April. I must just double check, but keep an eye out on LinkedIn and the GSSA newsletter. Sign up for the next one also. We'd love to have you back. Thanks so much, Petra. We'll see you next time.
Fantastic. I'll see you in April.
Great.
Enjoy your
Thanks.
hike.
Thanks,
Thank you so much.
everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Cheers.
Bye.